In my last video, I went over my first experience within the LDS Church, and now I want to go over my second experience. This is from September 21st, 2008, which was about a month after my first experience. It's been a little over a month since my last visit to the LDS Church. Like the first time, everyone was kind and the room saw many smiling faces. But just as there were smiling faces, there were also tired souls. Tired from the weight of bondage placed upon them through this legalistic system which used the name Jesus Christ to keep its buoyancy. I first came to the church as an investigator in some respect, but this time it was different. This time I came simply as an observer. No notes were taken, no questions were asked. My motives were simple. Watch the people, watch the mothers, the fathers, the youth, even the children. Seek to understand why. Why do these good people instill so much faith into a religion which suppresses their understanding and uses their ignorance to bind them to a system in which the church and the organization will benefit rather than to God and His glory? Why do they allow their personal relationship with Christ to be molded and constructed by their works rather than by their faith? These people are my brothers and sisters, and I love them with all my heart. Elder Durham has been a good friend, and I will remember him always. However, my heart breaks for him because he too has been led astray. I wept today for the first time since first meeting with the missionaries just a few months ago. I pray that my friendship with Elder Durham could be one that will last a lifetime. After all my observing today, I have come to somewhat of a conclusion. The people of the LDS Church are comfortable, and they find safety in the organization. Sean McCraney once said, "Ships are safe in the harbor, but they are not built to stay in the harbor. They are built to sail the open sea." I believe the church has become their harbor, and they have been deceived into believing it is the safest place for them and their faith. I simply want Mormons to understand that there is so much more freedom and liberty in being a true child of God. I want them to understand that grace is free, and that their salvation is in no way determined by their works or what the LDS Church has led them to believe. Today, the LDS Church was dry, and I was thirsting for Christ. This was just one day, one Sunday, and my spirit was almost dead. I can only imagine the heart of a lost LDS soul. It probably died long ago of thirst. But I know that souls can be regenerated and reborn through faith in Jesus Christ. Today was an illustration of my life as it is and the burden I have placed on my heart. But I will follow Christ, and through me, His seeds will be planted. So basically, the first time I went to the church, I did take a pad and a pen, my Bible, my Book of Mormon, my Doctrine and Covenants, my Pearl of Great Price. It was a triple along with my Bible, and I did take notes, and I did study, and I did learn as much as I possibly could. But this second time around, I went simply to observe, just to see what was going on, just to get a real life perspective of a Sunday in the shoes of an LDS member. Now, I didn't get to go home with any of them. I wasn't, invited to lunch or anything like that, which didn't bother me. But I mean, that's just the way it happened. But I would have liked to spend an entire day with an LDS family just to see what things were like. But the experience, as far as meeting people, everyone that I met in the church, everyone who introduced me, which was 8 or 10 people. The people who introduced themselves to me were nice people, very kind people, and I enjoyed meeting them. I enjoyed knowing them. I enjoyed being able to have the conversation I had with Elder Durham and Elder Nate. I don't speak with them much anymore, but the experience overall was a negative experience because once again, as in the first experience, Christ wasn't mentioned. We didn't learn Christ. He wasn't taught. His name wasn't mentioned. It's very different from a mainstream Protestant Bible-believing church. It's a completely different world, and I can understand sitting in there, as I mentioned in my first video, there are people who just, in this church, it just looks like they don't care. It's like, they're there because they have to be, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. And if you read 1 John, to carry on the duties of a Christian, he plainly states it's not burdensome. it's of delight. We should take pride in doing what we're doing. We should be happy and willing to do it. And the people in this church, for the most part, didn't give that vibe. They didn't seem like they were happy. I'm sure it's different for every Mormon, for every ward. I've spoke to other people who've told me, other missionaries have told me, well, you should come to our ward. You know, it's great. We have a lot of fun. You know, and I'm thinking about doing that. Just to observe, like I did this last time. But please, all comments are welcome. If you haven't subscribed to my videos, please do. If you've watched my videos all the way through and you've given them an honest, open approach, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. God bless.